We're with Cheryl and Jamie McLennan now. And Jamie, Connor Hellebuyck has talked about studying the goaltending position more than anyone. This is the best goalie on the planet in the regular season, but of course we've seen him allow 3 or more goals in 8 of his last 9 playoff games. So when you study Hellebuyck, what change are you noticing?
Well, I'm noticing teams are trying to get traffic in front of him because you can't stop what you can't see. And it allows Connor Hellebuyck to not take ice. And what I mean by that is bigger goaltenders like to challenge. And the minute that they're at the top of the crease, there's not much room around the body to fire or underneath the bar because he's such a large goaltender. So if you can have traffic in front of him, like we saw with the Colorado Avalanche a year ago, and even with the St. Louis Blues in the first round, you keep him in your net and keep him in his net, and he starts to guess. So that's the biggest challenge when you're studying Connor Hellebuyck. And if you can get him moving side to side, because he's a big goaltender and he's average moving side to side. He doesn't have tremendous lateral movement. He's efficient, but he's not explosive. So that's the biggest challenges when it comes to Connor Hellebuyck. He knows that, but also the other teams know that in the pre-scout.
Yeah, I'm just deferring to you on this one, Noodles, because you are a goaltender. But what I'm going to say, you just got to stop the puck, right? You got to stop the puck and you got to outplay Oettinger. I mean, at the end of the day, in order to get a W, he's going to have to find a way to make more saves, more high danger saves than Oettinger does, because Oettinger has weathered the storm on the other end and made some timely saves. And their backs are up against the wall right now. And the guy that has to be the numero uno right now is the guy that's in the crease. So he's got to be that Vezina Trophy winning goaltender if they want to get back in this series.
And guys, of course, a big reality is Hellebuyck's numbers won't matter if the Jets can't find a way to solve Jake Oettinger. So, Cheryl, what's the key for Winnipeg's offensive group to break through and help extend this series to 6 games?
Well, listen, Sarah, there's a number of things that I think they have to do, but the first thing is going to be specialty teams. When you look at their body of work during the regular season and then the postseason, it's much, much different. 0 for 7 over their last 2 games, and I think that's bleeding into their 5-on-5 play and vice versa. But if you look at the other side of it for Dallas, they're 3 for 6. So specialty teams are absolutely critical. I mean, if you go back to last game, the Jets were on fire the first 40 minutes. I thought that the underlying metrics were better than the Stars in many departments, but they didn't find a way to execute. So execution is massive right now. You look at that top line, they've got to find a way to produce. You look at their shot volume and their shooting percentage. They were 3rd in the league over the course of the regular season. They're just not getting it done right now. But they do need depth because they're up against a team that is very, very deep in the Dallas Stars. So I'm going to be looking for them not only to be play heavy and physical, look to get in off the rush. But if they can't, I want to see them play below the goal line. I want to see them working that play below the goal line. You saw it in the first game of this series. Scheifele coming down the middle of the ice to that Velarde pass from below the goal line. Now all of a sudden you got Oettinger moving from the post to the top of the crease. I also think the defense are going to be a massive, massive part of this, because if you're working hard below the goal line, coverage is going to sag. So what's that going to open up? It's going to open up the high ice and those defense jumping in. So I would expect to see some of that, but they've got to find a way to execute on their odd man rushes, and they just got to put it in when they have a high danger chance.
And Cheryl, to piggyback on that, I think it's fantastic you say down low plays, because that's exactly Jake Oettinger is 6'5". He covers the ice very well, but you need execution and you need secondary opportunities. It can't just be one and done. You have to find a way to have a greasy goal. Just ask the Edmonton Oilers in overtime. It's overloading the front of the net. And then what you do is force him back on his heels. I mentioned the same scouting report with Connor Hellebuyck being a big goaltender and forcing the puck around him. Jake Oettinger is 6'5", has tremendous flexibility, and he's explosive. I think of the Velarde chance in alone, in tight, where Oettinger explodes out at him and makes a terrific glove save. What you need is secondary opportunities. It doesn't have to be pretty, but it does have to find the back of the net and press him for second and third shots. Then you're going to beat him.
Well, this has been quite the goalie matchup. Oettinger and Hellebuyck were teammates for Team USA at the Four Nations. And when it comes to the Olympics, Oettinger, he wants a promotion from backup to starter. He said, quote, "Other than winning the cup, that's my #1 goal."